your employees. I mean, this is really an amazing gift. The 8-pack power stack, AM, PM system, 13 different capsules, game-changing, because it also funds this operation. And then there's so many other great products at Ps4Store.com. Super Blue fluoride-free toothpaste came back in. Now, it doesn't compete with Super Silver. Super Blue has the tea tree oil, the melaleuca, that's also an antifungal. The bacteria and the fungus in studies mix together and really cause a lot of big problems, so it knocks that out as well. It doesn't have the fluoride in it. It's got the good silver, and it's got iodine, and it's a daily toothpaste to use. Doesn't have any fillers like most of their toothpaste brands out there. Then we've got the tooth whitening toothpaste, again, that knocks out the plaque, that has the nano silver, and that has the above calcium that remineralizes the teeth and does so many other things. The two go together like a horse and carriage. These products fund our operation. It's why we're on the air. I want to thank you all for your support. I want to encourage you to do your Christmas shopping with us. That way we can stay on air and have the gift of freedom for everybody. It's critical we stay on air. It's critical you shop with the good guys. Infowarsstore.com or 888-253-3139. Please take care of yourself and your family, and please keep InfoWars on the air. Thank you.
Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order, it's Alex Jones. You found it, the tip of the spear. It is the Alex Jones Show.
So, the controlled corporate press, for anybody that's been paying attention, not living in a cave, is always saying, oh, Trump's not busting pedophile rings. That's a rumor made up by Alex Jones and other crazy people. Do you remember all of that? You remember? Right when Trump got in, we saw a 10-fold increase in massive busts, not just of people with child porn, but of people with kidnapped children. There'd be headlines, 400 arrested in L.A., 200 arrested in D.C., and, 14 children, some as young as 2, found in cages, videos of 3 men raping an 18-month-old baby. And then you never hear about the cases again. Thousands and thousands. I mean, it's just constant. And all these DHS people getting busted doing it.
All right, I'm only telling you guys one time. If you got a mic and you need money, join the penthouse. No squeakers, no non-micers. Just roll up.
That's the good DHS getting rid of them. There's a civil war going on. And the media tells you, oh, that's not happening. The same media that told you Harvey Weinstein wasn't doing any of this, and Jeffrey Epstein wasn't doing any of this, and the Clintons weren't doing any of this, and Prince Andrew wasn't doing any of this. And then now the media is focusing on 17 and 16-year-old women who were recruited at 14 as sex slaves, and it's terrible and it's horrible. But that's not even the tip of the iceberg. I told you they're into eugenics, and they were into a secret world government, and that Epstein was just the master sergeant. Sergeant Major.
You got a Mike Vine?
He was the highest level that we know of unenlisted officer in this.
You got a Mike, dude?
Powerful will celebrate the captain of a yacht or the maitre d' of a fine restaurant. That's who he was. He was just a manager and a liaison between multinational intelligence agencies. And I told you that 13 years ago when it all first started coming out, specifically in the Clintons and the airplanes first. And we're on record, and they admit that. And they've hated my guts ever since. Well, how do you like it, Hillary and Bill and all of you and Weinstein and all of you? You're not getting away with it. They had old Harvey coming into court, facing life in prison. He can hardly walk. He's not trying to put on sympathy. He doesn't have all his drugs now. He'll be dining in hell soon enough. And it couldn't be sooner. So the world's awakening to this, and they're not going to be able to put the genie back in the bottle. And hell, they now even admit in the Washington Post that Trump administration, print me that please, is taking bold action against human traffickers. They try to keep it, though, focused on teenage girls, and that's important. But, folks, I know the Pentagon people. I know the state police. I know the governors. I know the folks that have really tried to stop this. You know, wherever they have Super Bowls, they have the police chief protects it. And they've got down to age 10-year-old girls and stuff in those hotels. And
I'll need your bets now, please.
They're not allowed to save them. I've sat here in meetings with the people being advised, giving reports on this, and it's later come out in the news. So believe me, ladies and gentlemen, it's all out in the open now, but it gets even worse than you can even possibly imagine. They're trying to make it only about these underage women. It's far worse. So here's some of the headlines. 13 sex trafficking statistics that explain the enormity of the global sex trade. And then it goes through 4 million a year. Upward a third of them under the age of 16.
Nice to see you again. Let's see those bets now.
But then there's the CNN. Of course you'd expect CNN. Here's CNN a few days ago, December 4th. A Facebook rumor about white vans is spreading fear across America. And they go on to say there's no such thing. Nobody wants your children. Don't worry about it. Go read the sick article. Meanwhile, this is a month ago, FBI releases finder's files for 3 decades declassified investigation linked to Tallahassee child abuse case. There's some of the local news. She's only local news reporting all of these, but CNN tells you it's not happening. Flashback, Obama HHS placed migrant children in custody of human traffickers knowingly and protected them. Daily Caller reported on that, even the Washington Post did. U.S. placed immigrant children with traffickers, report says. New York Times. Your Lord and Savior Obama. Not just in cages, in the traffickers' hands. That's why the left's like, don't find out who their parents are. Don't hold them in a safe area. Give them to us in vans. We got some voodoo to do. Boy, do they.
We got some voodoo to do.
They got caught killing thousands of them in Haiti. AP reported on it, no coverage. Oh, yeah, thousands of dead in the last few years. They love killing those black babies. Children approached by man in white van for 3rd time after girl grabbed in Newcastle. Here's the Chronicle. But this is in England it's happening, and here. And it's huge Islamic rings doing it. They're the main group. That's done in Islamic culture. And when Tommy Robinson exposed it, and the men got convicted, well, he's in prison for it. For exposing. 2 men in white van wanted for attempted kidnapping of 7-year-old. Oh, that's another story. And again, there's all the reports of it actually happening. Kids disappearing. We've even got mayors talking about it. We'll play that coming up. The Baltimore mayor in the next segment. And we've got the big Finders report. You can read. It's on Infowars.com. Just type in FBI declassifies Finders.com.
Last invite, guys. Join the penthouse if you need money. Mike's only.
Raping of children. They believe it gave them power from Satan.
Unless you get your power from
then
Satan.
All the other Nexium cults.
And in that case, you're going to have to get vanquished.
And turning them into sex slaves and making them go compromise other men for control. Nexium was just trying to do what Jeffrey Epstein did. And now it's all coming out on Jeffrey Epstein. Co-pilot Jeffrey Epstein's jet reveals Bill Clinton was frequent guest flyer. How they dressed the underage girls up like candy canes.
Ha!
Photo shows Harvey Weinstein partying together with Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell. Truly disgusting. Dressed up like a Navy SEAL. So, document cam shot, please. So, that's what's happening here. And it's all coming out. Why is it all coming out? I'll tell you when we come back.
You got a mic and you just joined the penthouse, send me a friend request.
And Hillary Clinton
only if you got a mic, though.
visited Epstein's Zorro Ranch compound. What's going on there? Bill Clinton flew at least 36 times without security.
You guys ain't got mics. I can't help you.
Epstein's Leland Express pilot subpoenaed. It's all coming down. The House of Cards. Because this is the economy they operate in. Here's that clip. Detective who investigated Jeffrey Epstein on what he found, including Bill Clinton info on Fox News Detective Mike Fiston. Here it is.
Former Miami detective Mike Fiston. Mike, so you were a Miami homicide detective for 30 years, so you have a lot of credibility here. When you were tasked by one of these victims' attorney to look into Epstein, you interviewed some of his private pilots. What did you find?
Well, that was the most interesting part. When I started trying to contact his pilots, of course, his first pilot, who's his most dedicated pilot, wouldn't talk to us. We knew he wouldn't because he's basically in cahoots with Jeffrey, so we were able to find
him up by his ankles.
And I'll never forget sitting in this guy's living room up in this really nice area of Wellington, Florida, and talking to him, and he's telling me, I can't tell you anything, I really want to, but I can't. And I look over his shoulder, and I see there's a picture of him and his 3 daughters. And I said, look at your daughters. They could have been victims. And the guy started tearing up, and he started talking. And basically he said, listen, I flew the plane. I flew it all over the world. But I was never allowed to really leave the cockpit. I knew there was bedrooms back there. I knew that there was girls that shouldn't have been on the plane that were there. And I couldn't leave the cockpit to go back and look, or I would get fired. But he did tell me some interesting stories. I mean, you know, Jesse, he told me about the stewardesses on the plane would be very young girls. I mean, he couldn't tell me if they were 15, 16, 17, or 18. He just didn't know their ages, but they were very young, definitely not over 18.
And Bill Clinton was on those flights.
Numerous times.
All right, when we come back, we'll tell you the rest of the story. And that's just the first level. Why are there medical facilities at the Zorro Ranch? What's really going on? We'll be back. My intensity has increased almost 100%. My stamina has increased 100%. I'm sleeping better. I'm doing a better job.
Who's got a mic?
My mind.
If you got a mic and you need money, join the penthouse. One invite only. I'm not inviting you guys all day in here.
This isn't hype. This is something everybody watching
Either you're gonna join
can see. I've not just
Either you're gonna join and get some money and learn this method, or you're not. That's all.
Everything has gotten clear.
I just told you, dude.
Powerful. Now, I've told this story many times because I've been to...
Yeah, I just joined the lobby too, bud. But, like I was saying, I have a method for you guys on the poker table. Unlimited money. Gotta have a mic. Not sending invites all day, and I'm not gonna be in here all day. I'm gonna send you guys an invite, friend you guys, and keep it moving. If you want to learn, jump in the party.
This cycle at least 3 times, where I am working out, eating better, and taking supplements, but then I stop taking the high-quality supplements, and suddenly I gain weight back and don't have the energy anymore. And it's because supplements are an entire class of things that God gave us through Mother Nature. And there are many things that the population is deficient in, but governments around the world keep lowering the level of what you supposedly need as a daily allowance. Ladies and gentlemen, Linus Pauling won a Nobel Prize for just what vitamin C does. Now, vitamin C is very, very plentiful. It's all over the place. So I don't need to sit there and pitch you vitamin C. But what is not plentiful?
Vic, you got a mic?
Quality pure iodine that you absolutely have to live. You must have.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Ps4 Plus, that's got the PQQ, the CoQ10, and a bunch of other known ingredients that help you grow new mitochondria in the cells, that help reactivate dead tissue that's not.
Alright, I'm going to another lobby.
In the heart.
I'm going to get a few more people, and then I'll send you an invite to the party.
One product, only a few of the documented benefits of the compounds that are in it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I started religiously about 95 days ago taking DNA Force Plus, taking the high-quality fish oil, taking a mix of X2 and X3 because they're both different but very similar, and taking the bone broth and other products at InfoWarsLife.com, and it's been miraculous. It's been incredible. Physically, people see the difference, and they see the clarity and the energy and the focus on air. But when it comes to my body, and it comes to my muscles are as strong as when I was 22 or 3 years old when I hit my peak of fitness. I can't run as far, but I mean, this is amazing. And again, there's a lot of supplements, a lot of great ingredients, a lot of good things that your body needs and is missing out from because of the depleted soils and all those other issues that most of you, I'm sure, are aware of. But I'm telling you, the products at InfoWarsLive.com, the products that we sell are the very best out there. And when you religiously take them, it changes your life. And there's another big part of this equation that I know you're aware of as well, but I just want to bring up again because it's so central. This is so true. It funds InfoWars that has all these amazing guests, that covers all these powerful topics, and that puts out a counter narrative to challenge the globalist lies with truth that they want shut down. So it is a true 360 win. InfoWarsStore.com with the biggest seller.
You got a mic and you need money, join the invite. I'm not going to be in here for long.
Plus, I want you to experience Rainforest Plus. I want you to experience X2 and X3, the krill oil. Check it all out today at InfoWarsStore.com, and rest assured, these are great products, and you cannot lose because you're funding the fight for human liberty worldwide.
Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order, it's Alex Jones. Rallying patriots worldwide in defense of human liberty, it's Alex Jones.
Last invite for the penthouse. Either you're going to join and learn or you're not.
Real takeaway. The same evil corporate media that covers up for communist China now, that covers up for all the evil, that covers up for Planned Parenthood, keeping babies alive so they can find folks that want to buy their organs. That same group that tells you vaccines have no bad effects when the insert says they can kill you. They've been working around the clock to tell you that Jeffrey Epstein and the Clintons haven't done anything. And then once Epstein got busted, they tried to tie Trump to Epstein when there's no connection other than big public parties at his Mar-a-Lago estate where the guy walked through the front door as Trump was greeting him, and a few photos. We've got Trump administration taking bold action to combat the evil of human trafficking. Even the Washington Post had to admit that. We've got a 10-plus fold increase. The last time I checked, it was a 20-something fold. It's crazy. Of traffickers and child molesters. I mean, and they're busting them all over the government, too. Trump is removing
All right,
these
join the ad and join the invite. I'll be back. Well, I won't be back, but I'll be starting a party. Join the invite.
That's another great thing about Trump. That's why they're so angry at him, because this is how they blackmail and control people through the social clubs, through the organizations. Remember John Wayne Gacy that killed over 20 young gay men, teenage boys mainly? I researched him because I just happened to start watching an old documentary about him, and I spent a few days off and on. Did you know he was part of a satanic cult in Chicago and supplied women for rich people in the Rotary clubs? And then he supplied his wife to men? And then he started getting into rituals with underage boys? Just like we see in Pennsylvania with the Catholic Church. I mean, folks, everywhere you see a lone psychopath most of the time, he's just an operator for a larger group who then starts operating on his own and gets busted. This is very frightening. And what's scary is it's growing. So the same groups that are telling you don't look for any of this and don't investigate any of this.
If you got a mic and need money, join the penthouse invite. One invite and one invite only, and I'm out.
Are now telling you don't worry about white pants. I just showed you news articles out of CNN. Then I showed you articles in the U.S. and in England of white vans in the very towns they're talking about that did grab kids that are missing. The classic thing is a white van. Because the finders with the CIA leftist group making the snuff films and child porn at an industrial scale in the 80s that got busted. It was in the news, got shut down, congressional hearings.
Good to have you. All right.
They were driving white vans, but it's all sorts, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's get this started.
And we've got big news on this Breaking Tuesday and how it ties into multinational NGOs. And the millions of people coming across the border every year, millions, back and forth, and the hundreds of thousands of children that are underage, some as young as 2, that are ending up dead and missing and sex trafficking. I just showed you the Senate report in the Washington Post
Alright, whoever's watching on the
Headlines.
live stream, I'm going to start it back up.
Obama
I got to quit my app.
Release of children to sex traffickers. Thousands and thousands.